What's up again, everybody? So today I'll be making a tutorial on doing an automatic smelter in Minecraft, and I have found other automatic smelters on YouTube, but they're mostly you place objects in and then they come out, and it's a little bit more manual than I prefer, um, and they tend to be really big. So this one I've set up for you to place the actual farming part of it far away, and then you just get these little buttons and they send the carts to you. It's a little neat. So the objects go into one side, we'll say some beef, and then the other side you can refill with all of your smelting materials. And it actually doesn't matter if you put coal or charcoal, the hoppers will automatically sort them out so that they don't jam up the machines. So you can put both in and it'll spread it out for you. And to send it back, we just push these buttons, send them back, and then we're going to wait a minute or two and we should get some materials out of it. Alright, we should have some beef by now. Hopefully a cow didn't get on the track and ruin the day. And there we go, 6 already. It's pretty quick. I only waited about 30 seconds, maybe, yeah, 15 to 30. There's some steak. And then you can send this cart back, but I didn't have a button set up, so I'll just push it right back. So it's a little bit more intuitive than other systems. Thank you, computer, for that lovely addition. Those will still be aplenty despite having a new microphone. So I'm going to show you what this thing kind of looks like. It's actually pretty compact, save for the minecarts, the minecart tracks going up to the base, quote base. But yeah, it's really simple. It stays in one spot, and it requires not too many materials. Looks like we still got a couple more that we're brewing up. But I'm going to show you how to build this and why it's nicer over the typical gigantic version where you've got like a billion of these, and you have to go to your chests. I'm a fan of moving as little as possible in this game. Me and my buddies like to call it efficiency. The less amount of buttons that you push to get, or rather, the less amount of keys that you have to tap to get a job done is always best. So, why would that matter? Well, I don't have to run to one side of the map or rather of this thing to put in items and then go to the other side. That's too many buttons. I just go to one spot and just push the mouse a few times. This is an older design. It was really functional, but as you can see, it's much taller and it's louder. All these things make so much noise, as opposed to this one, which is nice and quiet. So I'm going to show you how to build this. And I'm going to find a nice spot to do it first. Alright, so I found kind of a flat area to build one. And if you want to bury the whole system, you're going to need this. This is a 4 wide, or rather, a 4 long by 6 wide hole in the ground. 6 bases, 4. And then it's 5 blocks deep, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And if you want to bury it completely without having a set of rails up here on the top on the surface, then you'll have to go down 2 more to 7, obviously. And then you're also going to have to dig out channels along the sides here where the rails go, so that you can have them leave to go to the base and come back. And that's really the trickiest part of this whole thing. It's an otherwise extraordinarily simple thing to build. And we're going to start on the ground up. So let's start by doing that. Spreading them out like this. These are our blocks that will stop the minecart and bounce it back the other way. And then we're going to build these out 4 more for our hoppers. Now we want to stick the hoppers, remember to crouch first, to stick the hoppers on the sides here. Oh, do you need, no, you don't actually need to crouch first for this. Okay, so we stick the hoppers out on the sides like this, so that they point outwards. And we're going to delete all this. Okay, and so now our hoppers are pointing away. This will make it so that they touch so that they feed sideways into our chest minecart. We're going to put powered rails There we go. We're going to put power rails on the corners. One here, and one here. And then we're going to wrap an actual cart around the whole thing, or rather, an actual track. And this will make it bounce back and forth between the two. Obviously, we're going to need to power this, but we'll do that later. The next thing you're going to need for this are trap chests and regular chests. And this is so that you can make them stagger without doubling up. And you can make these face whichever way you want. Actually, no, before that, you have to do the furnaces. Herp to me, come to earth again. I'm going too fast. So there we go, furnaces. Because that's where the things smelt. This time, you will have to crouch first, because if you don't, you'll do that. So, you can make these face whichever way you want. I like to face them out, just in case I have to troubleshoot the system. I can just see if they're smelting or not. That way you can tell if it's a hopper issue or if it's a minecart issue. Or a furnace issue. So, after that, we're going to need to place more hoppers. Now, the hopper is going to act as our ground floor for the next set of minecarts. So you want to make sure that you attach these to the side, and for this you will have to crouch. When you feed an item into the side of the minecart, or of the furnace, it will put it in the bottom section of the furnace, which is materials in, or rather your smelting stuff like coal and charcoal in. If you do it on the top like this, it'll feed it into the top section, which is your items to be smelted. Okay, so there we go, and we have two sets of feeders. So over here, we're going to stick another block. Bam, and bam, and another block here. And you can delete this if you want. You don't have to. Doesn't really matter. You need to go back. You get your powered rails. Or actually, did it do that? I believe I actually set it back one more, and that's why it's 6. Yeah, I did. Okay, because if you power the rails, then it gets kind of silly on top of the furnaces. So set it back one extra, like that. Same thing with these. Set these back one extra. So that the powered rails aren't touching the hoppers. Just like that. Okay. And then of course on the corners come these. And then you can place this here for our levers that will power these rails later. Or rather, yes, power the rails so that the minecarts can move across it. And then obviously you'll have to build some more. Like that. Okay. There's that wraparound. And then on the top here, we're going to need more chests. Remember to alternate trapped and regular chests, because they don't double up on each other. Just like that. They're all individual chests. And then out from here, I'm going to put more hoppers. Remember to crouch again. Feeding into the sides of them to create our upper level, our upper ground level as well. Just like that, and we'll delete these. Powered rails, whole shebang. I only like to use 8 because it's extraordinarily fast, and if you really are smelting so many materials that you need it to go faster than this, well, you might want to reconsider how many materials you're smelting at once, or just go into creative mode and grab them at that point. This system will take in this many stacks times 8, and will smelt that many stacks times 8 and carry it back to your base, which is pretty crazy. So Yeah, again, if you need more space, more smelting speed than that, you gotta rethink what you're doing. So that's the generic system. Next, what we gotta do is place down our minecart, and we want to use chest minecarts, which I'm not sure where I put them. I guess they're not in my inventory anymore. So let's go get some. Bam. Minecart with chest. Stick them on the ends here. And here as well. Yep. And then we're going to place levers to power the rails. And these will be, it will be turned on and off in case you need to troubleshoot the system if it breaks for whatever reason. You just flip it, and it'll turn them on and send them around the track. And then you go, oh crap, nothing's coming out. What went wrong? Click, click. They turn off. And there you go. They stick them back in, and they let you work on this system. So there also might be some yelling because we're trying to figure out what to do with the dog. Dog needs to eat. Anyway, so we can turn these on if we want. We also need to power this bottom one, which I believe can just be done like this. Yep. So there we go. Thank you again, computer, for showing my skills. And again, you'll just have to click this off if you want to turn off the system. Not that difficult. The other thing you can do if you don't want to take up so much space is just cram it right on the side here. And that'll do the trick too. Come on. Bam. So let's reset our time. What? Oops. Ha 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 ha. Bam. Okay. So now the system is actually running in circles and it works fabulous. So what do we do from here? Well, now we've got to build out our rail paths. And you can stick that on a corner, just like this. But remember that when you're doing it underground, the idea is to conceal everything. So you're going to have to find some fancy way of doing this. But essentially, when you're looking at it in a cross section, it'll look like this. And you won't necessarily have to drop down to the ground floor like I'm going to do. You can make them just move straight along the rail lines like this. You know, you can just keep going straight. The thing you'll have to be careful about though is that the redstone down here, if you have repeaters or something, will power this up here and it will turn off your system. So sometimes it's good to go out this way, just an extra one. And then you take this one and you'll path it in like this. But that's all frilly things you can add on at the end. So for now, I need to path this so that the minecart tracks can actually go somewhere, namely downwards. And then the same thing with the redstone track, that can also go downwards. And then same thing here. We'll do minecart track there. And then over here we'll do the redstone. Redstone will go that way. And then we'll have to put the redstone for this one, the redstone and the track, on the opposite side. There we go, that should work. Okay. Whoop, just like that. And just like that. And then we'll, put power rails here. Wrap the system back. Then we'll need to take some redstone. And we'll need to hook it up. What this does is when you power a corner, of track like this. Remember this. Remember this. When you power that corner, it will flip-flop the track. And you flip-flop the track so that you'll move the cart onto the other set of tracks, which is kind of the point. So that when we flip a lever in the base, it'll switch this out over here and send the carts back to us. Now, this is probably the most important part, is that you do these tracks one at a time, or you just have good memory, so that you can label them properly. Because if you do accidentally put coal or charcoal into this right here, it's going to send it into the top of your furnaces, and it will lock up everything, and it will be a nightmare to undo, because you'll have to break apart this whole track. You have to break apart this whole track. You'll have to take everything out of the furnaces, and then you'll have to make sure that these rails didn't fall into hoppers or something elsewhere in the system that could further jam it up and pull them all out, and you just don't want to do that. So make sure you label correctly. Make sure you remember where your track paths go. I'm just going to build these out to probably about here to make the station, or rather the spot in the base you have that you would prefer to have it go into. Alright, so I've kind of got the return area set up. I'm just going to kind of block it off to try and create a sort of a pseudo home for you guys. Obviously I don't want to crush that, and you can path this differently so that, you know, it does what you want, etc. No way to look all blocked off and like a wall, like it should, right? Okay, so here we go. I have them set up to come to 3 spots. This will be the return, or rather your items back that you'll get. Make this bigger out of aesthetics. Okay, that's the side that you're going to get your items back from. This is the side that, let's see, what is this side again? This side is the coal side, and then this side is your smeltable items side. And this is the easiest setup I found, you know, in the base. You just come to one spot, and you can just stand here and turn. Remember, efficiency, pushing less buttons, so on and so forth. And I just have it set up so that it runs into these unpowered powered rails, which will stop the minecart. In its spot, you'll be able to select them, put your items in, or take your items out, and then send it back with this button, which will power it and push it the opposite direction. These levers all power this redstone, which I actually still haven't added repeaters to, but it powers this redstone so that it flip-flops the track for you. And let's go right here too. Okay, see how the track is flipped? Flipped. Ooh, that one has not flipped because because I'm not feeding it in the proper direction. It's going straight out and it needs to come in from this side. Let me fix that real quick. So there, I fixed it. Now all of our tracks are flip-flopped. Blah, blah, blah. Every single one. And don't worry if your track is set up like this, where the cart's going to just kind of go into a wall. It's not really connected. It'll still go. Just jumps right on the track. Same thing when it's coming off the track. If you have this turned off and it's just going into the side, it'll just jump right back onto the track. We'll send that back. My cat just got up on this counter. Hey! Get down! Damn cats. So now they're all here in the station and ready to have our materials put into them. And then we'll make sure you turn these off, because if you don't, the track will stay flip-flopped and it'll just send the cart right back. And what is going on? Oh, I have this powered wrong, so I guess I didn't fix it all the way. Quick fix there. Okay, Gotta remember that. Alright, so now the tracks are all normal again, and they're in their little circuits. And so that when we send them back, boop, boop, and boop, they'll just go right back into their respective circuits and keep going around and around, sending their items, picking up their items, putting them away, you know, smelting. So let's actually try and smelt some items to show you just how fast the actual system is, and easy too. Alright, we got our stacks ready. Got my uncooked pork chops and coal. I'm just going to send these carts back to us real quick. Hello, buddies. We'll turn this back off so that they actually get back in their systems. Right here, we'll throw in our raw pork chops. Or, no, it's the reverse. Right here, we'll throw in our coal. That would have been disastrous. Remember to label everything. I didn't because it's a tutorial, but you will label everything. And we'll send these back. And then we're going to go do, I don't know, adventuring stuff for a couple seconds. There's a cow. I need more meat. Give me more meat. Got it. I need some, I don't know, dirt and chop it down with these rails. You know, these rails have efficiency 4 and, I don't know, super speed mining 11. You know, all the regular enchantments. Alright, I feel like getting some food back. All that adventuring has made me tired. And, look at that. 13 pork chops already done. Wasn't that quick? We'll just send it back. I'm pretty hungry. I think I'm going to eat all 13 of these pork chops real quick. So, I need more because I ate them all. And look at that, 11 more just waiting for me. So, the system's really fast, guys. It's really, really fast. And as you can see, this system itself is very compact. Takes up a 4x6 space, and then if you bury all of this stuff, you'll never see any of it. It'll all be underground. The surface will be totally clean. You won't have to build some silly looking, I don't know, dome to cover all of it or whatever. I'm sure you guys are creative and you'll figure it all out. So I just want to give credit for this to my buddy Rackin8. He actually figured it out, the whole thing, and we kind of collaborated and tweaked the design of it until it it was this quiet, functional, etc., etc. So not my original idea, but I am the one uploading it because I don't see anyone else doing it. One last thing to add is to make sure that you power all these with you can see it down there, there's a little torch, broken. Make sure you power it with redstone torches underneath the block that the track is on, because that way when we flip these switches around, if you don't have to worry about running your redstone wires away from it, because no matter what, it will not unpower the track again, because it will be receiving power from below. It's just how it works, guys. How much more of this is done in that whole time? 40 of them. Okay, well that's the whole stack. Let me just break that button there so that I can't send it back easily. Push. Got it. Okay. There you go, guys. And have fun building this stuff. It worked out great for us in our private multiplayer server, and I hope it works out great for y'all.